Hi everybody! Surprise! I'm putting out a random episode today. It is an announcement episode, and there are going to be a lot of changes and a lot of things to talk about. The first change is going to be about the podcast. As you guys know, typically I would do the podcast once a week on Mondays at midnight, and I'm going to be changing that. A lot of things have changed for me over the last couple of months. And as I do a lot of spiritual work for myself and spiritual healing, and I do talk with my spirit guides, they do guide me through things. They've told me numerous times that I have plenty of other work that they want me to get into. Stones and runes and bones and, past life regression and past life healing and shamanic practices and all of these beautiful, amazing things. But I haven't really been able to do everything it is that they've wanted me to do when they wanted me to do it. And as we've had other people on the show, they've very clearly explained that the universe does things when it should be done, whether it's convenient for you or not. And it has been kind in giving me time to get myself together and get everything done, and it has also forewarned me numerous times that if I don't put into action what I need to do, it's just going to force me into it. And the reason why I haven't been able to do it is because I don't have time. One episode of this show takes me 6+ hours to do. In part, it's because I edit very heavily. I try to make an episode as perfect as I possibly can with my limited knowledge of audio and all the different things that you can do and all the different things you can try. But it does take a long time. And after that, I don't have time to do all these other things they want me to do. I barely have time for me. And I talk to you guys so much about time for yourself. And I do, as much as possible, take that time, but it's definitely not enough. And I know that. And it's been like that for a really long time. And I'm getting to this point now where if I keep going the way I'm going, there will not be a podcast. Matter of fact, I've come to accept that, and I'm not happy about that. So what we're doing instead is episodes once a month. My hope is that will make me feel more comfortable. I have several episodes that have already been recorded and even partially edited, to be honest with you, even with my insane editing. I have other ideas. I have other guests that are coming on the show. I actually was planning on doing a crossover with another podcast. So there are plenty of other things that can happen. And what I feel very excited about and very lucky about is that I already have that material done. So that means that I essentially will get the time to, one, do everything it is that I want to do and what I'm being pulled and pushed to doing. To be able to actually relax a little bit more and just go to the grocery store, go to random places without feeling like I have to dedicate myself to a schedule. And also, my hope is that it will help me to not have to just up and leave the podcast. I don't want to do that. And that's why I need to do this, because if I don't, that is what I will be forced into doing. I used to wake up in the morning and I was so excited to record a new episode. I had a message that I wanted to tell you guys, and I was so excited about it. And over the last couple of months, while I definitely do feel like the episodes were great, and I didn't have a problem with them at all. And for instance, the live show episode, I loved that episode. I loved it so much. It was amazing for me. But I haven't felt truly and honestly connected to every single week the way I used to. And so I also want to get that back. Now, with that, I'm also changing the editing of the podcast. Essentially, the way that this episode goes out is exactly how all the rest of the episodes will go out too. So with that, I want to talk about one more thing, which is that I am deleting the Patreon page, which is why I really needed to get this episode out before January 1st. Because all the Patreon payments are done on the 1st, and I didn't want you guys to get charged when I'm not going to be putting out any bonus content Those episodes, all the content that's on the Patreon page, I still have all of it. So if anybody wants to see it, who is a Patreon and never got a chance to, please let me know and I will send it to you. Next thing I want to talk about is changes to the website. So if you look at the website, it's completely different. It is still thehauntedride.com, but it's called The Spirit Key. And that might be a little bit confusing, but let me explain. The Haunted Ride as a podcast is something I've had to explain and go into and define exactly what it is. And it makes sense. It's about your journey, like your haunted journey, your journey through the paranormal, your journey through the spiritual, your journey through whatever you get kind of put into that's really out of the box for you. And that makes sense. But I'm going to be offering more things on the website, including more things on the website, adding more stuff to the website. And that name just doesn't work. It works fine for the podcast and in a place where I can accurately explain what it is. But for all the spiritual aspects and the spiritual work and healing and all of those services and crystals and all that stuff, the Haunted Ride just doesn't work. So the podcast will still and always remain the Haunted Ride Podcast. The website URL is exactly the same, thehauntedride.com, because that's what you guys know. However, if you go to that site, you will see that it's called The Spirit Key. And it does sort of explain just a little bit about what it is. And the first thing that you'll see is the Haunted Ride Podcast, and then you'll see everything else that kind of falls under the Spirit Key. And what that is essentially going to be a store, more services, crystals, products that you can purchase that are to be used in your spiritual practices or in your mindfulness practices. It's also going to be the name for any and all workshops that are done next year. Before I get a little bit more into that, let me talk about the services. We're still doing tarot card readings. I have decreased the price from $18 down to $13. I've decreased it down to $13, sort of think of it as like a sale until March. And then we'll see kind of how it goes and see if I feel like it should still be $13 or if it really should be $18, etc. But right now it is $13. I also added an intuitive counseling service, which is $21. That is a call between myself and you, whoever the purchaser is, and we'll just talk. And we'll talk about what's going on with you, where you're trying to get with your life, what you feel like is blocking and cutting you off. It's kind of like a spiritual guidance service. It's just over the phone and much longer. You get me anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. And I will be talking with you. I will be sharing messages with you, and I will be giving you everything that I possibly can give you. I'll get messages myself from guides and from your guides as well too, to bring to the conversation. And so it's really just built to help you. Eventually, I will also be doing some sort of past life regression work or past life unblocking or unblocking work. I'm not really sure of the entire title of it, but essentially what it'll be is, this is actually something that I just did for myself, and I just actually freed a whole bunch of my past lives. And I freed the trauma from those past lives, and that feels amazing. I have shared with you guys on a couple different episodes, I mentioned the fact that I saw my past lives and I saw how they died. And I felt their death numerous times, and that really hit me very hard, and I needed to feel that in order to further understand my life and my path and my goals and where I'm going and everything that's happening around me. And then recently I freed those lives, and I freed that trauma, and I sort of became one with it and became more whole in my spirit and my soul. And that feels amazing. And I want to offer that to you guys too. I don't know how much it's going to be. I don't know exactly when I'm going to be putting it up on the website, but I am actually going to be getting more into using the newsletter the way that I used to. If you join the newsletter, you will know of any new products, any new posts, anything like that. It will be sent to you through your email, and you can check it out, or you can go to the website, whatever makes you happy. Additionally, we are still doing crystals. Crystals are on 1/1 to start the year off right. So crystals will also be up on the website under the store. Also, if you look on the website, there is now a dedicated podcast page. So there's the player, there's all the show notes, there's different places you can listen. There's also a page that's called Join the Community, and what that is a forum. So let me explain where that came from. I did always really want this to be about a community. I want everyone to feel like this is a free sanctuary place where they can come and they can talk and they can feel welcome, that they will still feel accepted, and that no one's opinion of them will change, or that their experiences is only what makes them. That truly hasn't really happened except for on the Discord. Discord, that's exactly what it is. They are so willing to share and open themselves up, and they feel very comfortable. And that is really what I wanted to give to everybody, and I wanted to share with everyone. The Facebook group, it does have a lot of people in there. I think it's a little over 60, but I don't think that that's really grown the same way that the Discord group has. It essentially, the Discord group took off from there right away, and the Facebook group just has never really gotten to that point. What I would like to do is I would like to have this forum, so you do have this essentially community. You now have that on the website, and I'm very excited. I'm very excited that it's there. I'm very excited that it's literally on the website. So you find out about it right there. You don't have to go to somewhere else to do it. Everything is right on the website. Another part of this is I've told you guys I hate Facebook. It's just never really felt like the right place for me to be. And there are tons of amazing podcasts and amazing spiritual practices and communities and everything on there. And I understand that as a marketing tool, turning around and saying I'm not going to use this thing is detrimental to what I'm doing. And I get that, but it doesn't feel right for me, and it never has. And in trying to update the Facebook page and change everything around so that, everything is now synonymous across Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, they have given me a very hard time. They don't want to change any of my stuff. They don't want to let me change any of my stuff. And so I've just decided to delete the Facebook page altogether. So the Haunted Ride Facebook page isn't going to be there anymore. I think right now, if you try to search for it, it's unpublished. You'll find the group, but you won't find the page. And the group, to be honest with you, we've just had a lot of people recently join. I think I'll probably still keep it open with posts, letting people know that we have the forum, trying to see if they're willing to migrate over to that instead. And then afterwards, just kind of closing it out, and then I'll be off of Facebook entirely. I will be on Instagram. That is where I will be the most active, is on Instagram, and I will still be on Twitter. The other thing that I want to tell you guys is that next year we will have workshops. This has been a very big thing for me. I am still in the process of creating all of the material and everything for that. I actually just came up with this brand new idea to put out for the workshop, and there will be actually physical things that you can download if you want. You can read them out. I'm actually thinking about maybe trying to get a Spiral Brown notebook deal and get all that together for anybody who wants to join. I don't have pricing right now, and it will just be me. The first ones are going to be about bringing love into your life and self-worth. I do have a couple other ones that I want to do. Essentially, my goal is to do 3 next year. My goal is to have the first workshop in March, to start spring. I think it's going to be a perfect time for it. It'll be right after February, so, everybody can either feel very, very amazing about the month of February or very sad about February, and I think it'll be a really great way to have those titles of workshops during that time so that people can learn how to love themselves. The last thing that I actually forgot to mention to you guys, which I apologize, is all of the social media handles are now the Spirit Key. So Instagram and Twitter are the Spirit Key. Pinterest is the Spirit Key. I think YouTube is still the Haunted Ride, and it'll probably just stay that way because it is the podcast, and that's all that's on there is a podcast. And that's it. That's all I've got for you guys. I do truly and honestly appreciate every single person who listens to this podcast. You guys have helped me grow. I hope that you guys all know that you are the reason of why I could get to this point. Because while I did perform the actions, I continued to perform them. I continued to work. I continued to grow. And a lot of that is because of this podcast and because of you guys wanting to be more and wanting to be more helpful and wanting to guide more and share more about the things that I've learned and how to share that with you guys. And I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Our next episode will be in January. It's an episode that I'm very excited about. And it's with someone who does amazing healing work, and listening to her talk and listening to her speak and how beautiful and amazing of a person she is I think will also really kind of explain to you guys why that is something that truly touches me. And there's so many things that she says in there that truly touch me and I feel so connected with. And I was hoping that would happen, but I didn't realize it would happen as strongly as it did. So please take care and stay safe. Love yourselves and love others. Have a good day and an amazing night. And as we always like to say, don't let the ghost get you. Bye.
This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts.